Hi, my name's Alyssa Chambers, and every time I do an intro, there's a little dog boy's feet that go tick, 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 tick. Why? Every time. Hi, my name is Alyssa Chambers. I hate intros. How are you today? Okay, so today I'm going to do my makeup and we're going to talk about Leo placements in your first house. If you have no idea what I'm saying, then you should look up your whole chart, your birth chart, your natal chart. Google that real quick. It's where all of the planets were when you were born and what that says about you. And if you have Leo in your first house in any placement, congratulations, you're in the right place. Also, wow, what's it like to be good at everything? Must be nice. And like any good Leo would, I made my hair a crazy color, you know, because that's just the way that Leos do it. I have no Leo placements, but my moon is in my 5th house. So yeah, super dramatic, super dramatic. We'll get into that later. Okay, anyways, I'm gonna do my makeup and we're gonna talk about Leo in your first house. If you have a Leo sun in your first house, then you're going to portray yourself or think other people see you as being more of a dramatic kind of person, or like center stage, very confident. And you're also going to think that doing those type of things will make you happy. Oh my god, I look crazy. It's fine. So having a Leo sun probably means you have other Leo placements, which will make you act more Leo. Like, have you ever met someone who's a Leo and you're like, you don't act like a Leo? It's probably because their other placements aren't in Leo, and so they're not acting that way. I have a couple friends who are Leo, and every now and then I'm like, there it is. There she is. So Leo is already very dramatic, charismatic. They like to kind of be star of the show. Leo is all about the ego and your sense of self in your houses, like your 5th house. It's how you really think other people see you and how you kind of like want to be seen. It's more of the like, look at me kind of stuff. And that's reflective on the other placements as well, especially in your first house, because your first house is Aries, and Aries is kind of like your predominant, like how you portray yourself. Your first house is like how people see you, how you act, and also like aggressiveness, stuff like that. And these are 2 fire signs, so that is, woo, baby, woo, woo. Leo is very interesting, especially if it's like your moon or how you really truly are on the inside, or your Mercury or anything. So Leo is a very like double-sided coin. You're one of those people who either absolutely loves the limelight or you absolutely hate it, like want nothing to do with it. And typically the people who don't want anything to do with it are the ones who end up being like famous. They just kind of like fall into it because they just can't help it, because you're just so charismatic. You're just very dramatic, and people find you interesting. Especially if you're charismatic and you don't want to be. Like, people will notice that and they'll be like, what? How the heck does that person do that? The first house is going to amplify this a little bit, because the first house is more of assertiveness and independence. So this could either make you really driven about it or make you super, super, super hate it, not want anything to do with it. So this is kind of a hard placement. You're gonna really want to look into the other placements besides first house, Leo, anything in the first house, because any kind of water is going to change things, any kind of air is going to change things. And if you're just strictly all fire, that's a hard person to read regarding emotion-wise and how they think and things like that. So your moon is your inner self and how you really truly are when you are yourself around other people. So it's very interesting because this is a really, really strong placement to have Leo in your first house already, and for it to be your moon, meaning that that's how you act on the inside. So for any other placements like your sun and things like that, it's going to have a hard time changing how you act, because it's just so fiery. It's just really, 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 really strong. The moon can kind of be whatever because it has its own path. So it's not up to any of the other placements or anybody really around you, unless you're born on the same day and you have the same moon. But you could be born in the same month and have very, very, very different qualities from someone just because your moon is different from them. Like 2 weeks apart and you guys have opposite moons, so you act like opposite people. So that's really interesting and something that you want to look out for. Having Leo moon already is rough, but having it in your first house is rougher, baby, because it's stronger. It's you trying to be independent but also trying to be star of the show at the same time, or you absolutely hate it. So this is going to rely on Mercury will change how you speak, and Mars will change how you act. So you really, really want to look at those things when you're reading somebody's chart who has a strong placement like that. Things that are going to contradict each other are very interesting and important. Somebody with a Leo Mercury in the first house is going to... There's no nice way to say it, because it's really going to depend on the other placements. But they're going to be someone who probably ends up talking about themselves a lot. Sometimes it's just when people are trying to be relatable, they talk about themselves, and it comes off wrong. But sometimes people are just straight up trying to talk about themselves. Sometimes they just are. That's just how it is. That's just, I don't know. They're going to talk very aggressively. They might be a little bit selfish. They're going to care very deeply about their self-image. Regardless of whatever their other placements are in their head, they're going to have a really, really hard time with this. Especially if their sun is also Leo, which is very, very likely. This is a placement where it can get kind of egotistical. People can get very, very self-centered very, very fast. That doesn't mean that they're not giving or anything like that. It just means that they care a lot about what other people think about them, whether it's good or bad or anything like that. And Mercury is how you think and how you speak, so that's going to be things going on in your head. Having a Leo Venus is very interesting because Leo is, they can be self-centered because they just are, but they can also be very, very giving, especially in a Venus situation. And the first house is independence, all about yourself. But I find that the first house is very lovey-dovey, like how babies love their moms kind of thing. So this is very, very dependent on Mercury and Mars as well, because Mercury is how you think and Mars is how you act and react to things. So if you have very heavy Mercury placements that are also fire, that's going to make you a little bit more on the egotistical side. If you're more water, it's going to be more like loving towards other people and emotional kind of issues like that. If you have a Leo Mars in your first house, yikes. I hope you have a lot of water to cool you down. And I hope that you have nothing else to make you take action on things, because that is a very, very, very touchy, heavy placement. That's somebody who probably gets mad very easily, somebody who just really feels passionately about everything, somebody who is going to react in a way that is always like, they just go for it. They're going to be people who aren't afraid to just go after what they want, hopefully, which is really cool, especially first house. Leo Mars is a go-getter. They're gonna get it done. They're gonna do it, and they're gonna do it passionately, and they're probably gonna do it really well too. They're probably gonna be really good at it, whatever it is that they're wanting to do. And if they're not good at it, they're gonna throw a fit, like a huge one, like a blow up. if somebody has a Leo Jupiter in their first house, they are going to have kind of a hard time learning unless they're super passionate about it, or it's going to benefit them in a, like a, I hate to say it, like an egotistical way. That's just the way that it is for them. That's just the way that they be like. Honestly, the major way that they're going to learn, unfortunately, is a big hit to the ego. I'm sorry. That's just how you learn. But Jupiter can also be luck, so they're probably going to be really good at their job, I feel like, depending on their Mars and stuff like that. But Leos and Aries are like boss kind of people. Like, they're in charge. They're those in charge people. If you're looking up somebody's Saturn right now, and it's a Leo Saturn, and it's in the first house, oof, that's going to be a very, very tough placement if they don't have a lot of water, because they're going to need the water to cool them down, because Saturn is stability, and the first house and Leo are both fire. They're both extreme versions of fire. Leo is fixed. See what I'm saying? Also, for your Saturn return, baby, for your Saturn return, you are going to get the lovely, lovely personal attacks, the egotistical attacks. So when you're reaching Saturn returning back to its natal placement, when you're about 26, 27, 28-ish area, you are going to have somebody probably insult you so deep, like so deep. That's gonna rock you. I am so sorry. That's rough. If you have a Leo Uranus in the first house, that's a freaking really cool placement, I think, personally, because you're gonna be really strong-willed and be good at doing things and getting things done, and you're gonna be like CEO of something. You're gonna be like very, very, very important person in charge. Honestly, what a power placement. Congratulations. If you have a Leo Neptune, it's the same kind of idea as a Uranus Leo in the first house. So you work really hard, and you're probably going to like accomplish anything you want. You're going to be the boss of something. You're going to be really important and in charge, and that's a really, really killer placement. Like, what a great placement. Having a Leo first house Neptune is also a flex. Like, that's a really good placement too. And not to say that the other placements aren't good placements. These are just really good, like, long run type things, because when you get into the further away planets, it turns into things that are about yourself in the long run, like your hopes and your dreams and stuff like that. So Neptune is all about like dreams and things outside of yourself. For you to have a Leo Neptune in your first house says that you're going to achieve your dreams and be probably really good at them and be very boss-like, be in charge kind of thing. Where if it's more of like your Mars and your Mercury, it's more of how you think and act, which doesn't mean necessarily that you're going to be able to do it. So having it be your Uranus, Neptune, Pluto is really important. Which leads me into Pluto as well. So Pluto is your ultimate transformation, and having a Leo first house Pluto means that you might end up being like kind of an aggressive kind of person, but also you're going to be very much in charge. You're going to be a leader. You're going to be the person telling people what to do. Honestly, it's a really, really good placement. It's very nice, especially if your other placements are like, in my opinion anyway, like water and stuff like that, because then you're sweet, but you're also getting the job done and you're taking care of other people. It's just a very, very nice combination, I think. But yeah, that's Leo in your first house. This makeup is so dramatic. So dramatic. It's Leo. It's definitely a Leo. Yeah. I didn't mean for it to be this dramatic, but it kind of just happened. Yeah, I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions, leave comments below. Who am I? Who am I? You know? Who am I? Who even am I?